vocabulary books and turn to list 11. List 11. Okay? So listen closely, guys, okay? So for we are in our last two units in our vocab book. So we're doing these last two units a little differently, okay? So with unit 11, we're not going to do spelling because obviously it takes too long to do spelling quiz A and the spelling quiz B. So we're just going to do the quiz over vocab and the roots, prefix, the word analysis, the prefixes, roots, and suffixes. So that'll be the quizzes for quiz 11 and quiz 12. Okay, so none of the dictation anymore. So just vocab and the roots, prefixes, and suffixes. Okay, so with that, obviously there's not going to be any more spelling words. With that, there's going to be more word analysis on that. So make sure you guys are studying when we go over them. And this quiz for quiz 11 will be on Tuesday. Okay, so Tuesday. Next week on May 11th. So it'll be your vocab, your roots, your prefixes, and your suffixes only over list 11. Okay, so let's go over our vocabulary. Go ahead and turn to page 88 if you're not there already. And then I'm going to say the word. You'll say the definition. Okay, make sure everyone is participating. Yuvia, set the cup of noodles aside, please. Okay. Set the cup of noodles aside. You can eat at lunch, not during my class. All right. Number 1, abomination. Good. Number 2, decrepit. Number 3 is deprecate. Number 4, disconcert. Number 5, disconsolate. Okay, inconsolable. Hopelessly sad. Number 5, inadvertent. Okay, number 7, inert. Indolent. Okay, indolent. Number 8, inexorable. Sorry. Okay, number 9, influx. Number 10, nonchalant. Number 11, obtuse. And then number 12 is occult. Good. So tonight for homework, you're doing 1 through 6 twice, okay? 1 through 6 twice. So go ahead and take out your grammar books. I'm using my phone for our lesson plan since obviously the internet is down. Grammar books, go ahead and open that. Okay? Huh? What? Well, he could still show you his stuff, just not his. We can't go on the internet. But if it's downloaded on his computer, he'll still be able to show you. All right. Shh. Guys, stop talking. Go ahead and look at page number 234, okay? Just to review. All right, verbal phrases as adjectives, okay? Which verbal is used always as an adjective, class? Participle, okay? And what verbal begins or has to plus a verb, class? Infinitive, and we know that it can possibly be used as an adjective, okay? How do I know the differences between an adjective and a noun when it comes to verbals? How do I know the differences between a participle and a gerund? You said if you just know it? How do you know it? Okay, well, what do gerunds function as, class? So if participles function as adjectives, what do gerunds function as? Nouns. Okay, we act like we've never learned this before. We already did, and we spent actually a whole unit on it. Okay, so gerunds function as nouns. How do I know the differences, or what do gerunds end in, class? Ing, but don't participles end in ing? Yeah, so how do I know the differences between a gerund and a participle? Exactly, participles describe something. If adjectives, we know there are participles, what do adjectives describe, class? Nouns, or do you think adjectives describe verbs? Okay, adjectives, okay, not just participles, adjectives within and of itself. What do adjectives describe, class? Nouns and what's another part of speech that they could possibly describe? Pronouns. Guys, we just went over pronouns, okay? So nouns and pronouns. Class, what do adjectives describe? What do adjectives describe? What do adjectives describe? Just making sure we understand that, because, Amethyst, give me the phone. All right, so adjectives describe nouns and pronouns. So the differences between a gerund and a participle is that participles describe gerunds. They can function as the subject. They are nouns. They can be a subject. They can be a predicate nominative. They can be a DO. That's how we know the differences between them. So with participles, what else can they end in besides ing, class? D, okay, ed, all right? So T, dentiting, those are participles. So that's what we're looking for within a sentence. Infinitives, we know that they are what, class? They have, what are we looking for with infinitives, the words? To plus a verb, okay? So we know that the participle in and of itself has that ing or that ending, but then the entire phrase has all of its modifiers or complements. Same thing with infinitives, okay? All right, let's go ahead and diagram phrases that are used as adjectives, okay? So we already did exercise A together, okay? And identifying what those describe, so let's diagram them, okay? Everyone on page 235, go ahead and take out a sheet of paper, okay? Page 235. All right. Shh. Okay. So before we went to participles and infinitive phrases, we had prepositional phrases. Class, and we have prepositions. Also, what do prepositional phrases have? Really? I'm going to stay here until you guys figure it out. What is it? Objects. Okay. Everyone needs to be participating, not just Andrew. Okay. Prepositional phrases have objects, and the way that we know that they are prepositions if they describe what? If they are adjectives describing what? Or pronoun, okay? So look at your first sentence. The girl with the brown hair, your first example sentence, okay? The girl with the brown hair was elected, okay? This phrase or this sentence is telling me that what's my subject, class? Girl. What's my verb? Was elected. We have the word the describing what, class? Girl. But notice how it's saying with the brown hair, okay? That's how we diagram prepositional phrases. With is my preposition going on the slanted line. Hair is my object. Brown is an adjective describing hair, but that entire phrase is underneath girl because it's describing the girl. Which girl? The girl with brown hair, okay? Adjective prepositional phrases with a compound object, okay? The girl with the brown hair and blue eyes. How do we diagram compound things, class? Rocket ship. Okay. So notice how she has brown hair. There's that hair. Brown is underneath that. But she also has blue eyes. So that's why it is a compound object. But still, all underneath the word girl. Okay. Girl, what kind of part of speech is that, class? It's a noun, so we know that with brown hair is a, what kind of phrase, class? Prepositional phrase used as an adjective. Good, okay? Participial phrases with indirect and direct objects, okay? This is your sentence. Telling Melissa the news, Mary spoke excitedly, okay? So we learned how to diagram indirect objects already, okay? What do those go underneath always? Class, the indirect object on our line. Does anybody remember? Okay. So it goes underneath our verb. All right. For example, okay, if I had a sentence, okay, she gave her the paper. All right. What's my subject and my verb here, class? She gave. What did she give? The paper. So what is paper? My D-O. To whom or for whom? Her, which is my I-O. Okay? So when I diagram this, she is my subject. Gave. What did she give, class, again? Paper as my direct object. I diagram my indirect object underneath my verb. Okay, it's saying who she gave to, okay, the paper to. That's how I diagram my indirect object, all right? So look at your example, okay? Telling Melissa the news. What kind of phrase is that? Not a prepositional. Telling Melissa the news. It's ending in ing. Not a gerund. What section are we in, class? Participial. So it's an adjective phrase describing what? Who was telling Melissa the news? Mary. So notice how my participial phrase is underneath Mary. Okay? Remember how I diagram a participle? It is on the slanted line. But notice within that phrase, it's telling who or what, class? Telling what? Telling Melissa the news. What did they tell? The news. Okay? Within that phrase, what is news acting as? My D-O. So notice how it is the D-O on that line. Okay? To whom or for whom, class? Melissa. So that's why Melissa goes underneath the word telling. Remember, verbals are verbs that are used as an adjective or as a noun. So that's why Melissa would still be underneath telling. Okay? Participial phrases that have indirect objects with a direct object. That's how we diagram that. Okay, and then an infinitive phrase with a direct object, same thing, away to deliver the food. What's my infinitive phrase, class? To deliver the food. Okay, so to deliver who or what? Food. So food is my direct object. It's on the same line as I would diagram a direct object. Everyone paying attention? Okay, so way must be found is my main subject and my main verb. Okay, to deliver the food is describing what word? So why is it underneath way? So it's describing way. Okay, it's saying which way? A way to deliver the food. Okay? All right, go ahead and diagram exercise on page 235, numbers 1 through 10. That is your homework for tonight. Okay? Page 235, the exercise, numbers 1 through 10. No. Actually, let me look. Possibly for tomorrow. No. All right, so tonight is your homework, page 235. Okay, so make sure that you are looking over page 233 to 235. Okay, we've already done prepositional phrases in the past, so we should be able to recognize prepositional phrases and then review participles and infinitives. Class, what do we have with infinitives? We already know this. To plus the verb, and then participles function as what, class? What do they function as? What are they being used as? What are participles used as? Adjectives describing nouns and pronouns. Okay? So make sure you look over that. You should have done page 234 for homework already, or we did that in class. So finding our phrases, so there will be a quiz and grammar tomorrow. Okay? Quiz and grammar tomorrow, page 233 to 235 over adjective phrases. 233 to 235. Just prepositional phrases, participial phrases, and infinitive phrases, and then how to diagram those. So if you practice tonight on how to diagram, you'll be fine for tomorrow's quiz. Okay, so make sure you do that tonight for homework, and then continue to read page 281 to 291. Okay, that should have been today, but I'll give you an extra day to read through that. That'll be for your reading quiz tomorrow. Okay, and then for vocab, we already said that. Vocabulary words and definitions, 1 through 6, twice. All right, are there any questions? Yes. Page 281 to 291. It's on the board. Okay, I'll change that to Tuesday. Yes, Austin. It's an epic usually doesn't have an author. It's usually unknown. And if it doesn't have an author, then I don't think I'm going to quiz you over the author. But Austin and Sophia, you do have to make up your quiz today, your spelling quiz that you missed on Friday. So look over that, and then I will give you the quiz. 10B.